fighting than yours. You call me a colonizer, I'm gonna make you fucking cry. And I'm not gonna feel bad about it, okay? It's not my fault that my ancestors were better at fighting than yours. Okay, it's not my fault your ancestors were so bad at fighting they got fucking colonized. Maybe your ancestors should have fucking fought better. Maybe your ancestors should have been better at fighting. But no! They fucking sucked at fighting, and that's why we won. Not my fault. Maybe your ancestors were just weak little bitches. Calling a white person a colonizer really isn't the insult that you think it is, because you're basically admitting that my ancestors were better than your ancestors. And to my fellow nizers out there, if someone calls you a colonizer, take it as a compliment, because they're basically saying that your ancestors were better at war than their ancestors. And that's why their ancestors got colonized. If they didn't want to get colonized, maybe they should have fought harder. Maybe they should have invented the wheel. Maybe they should have pulled a 1776. But they didn't, because they're weak little bitches who got colonized. That's not your fault nor your problem. Take it as a compliment, because it is. Your ancestors were better than theirs. That's why your ancestors won the war. Oh, and as far as like the whole, calling white people slaves masters, first off, the majority of white people didn't own slaves. And second, everybody's been a slave, like everybody's ancestors has been a slave at some point. And third, it was actually the Muslims who invented what we perceive as the Atlantic slave trade. The Atlantic slave trade actually started as the Silk Road slave trade, and that slave trade is still going on today. So, yeah, if you want to blame anybody for slavery, blame the Muslims. And as far as, like, the whole, calling white...
Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kakatash, double honors to the head elders, apostles, and the bishops at the great millstone who rule well. And shalom to you, full elect brothers and sisters out there gathering faith as a treasure. I say shalom to you. So, this is a re of a re. And as you saw, the elder brother, Manatha Zakpa from South Carolina, shared that video. So, not gonna lie, it pissed me off. Just because the pride of her heart, It's not good. And I got this right here to open up with. It's Amos 3:1. It reads, "Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh have spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, You only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." So, slavery is a punishment for our iniquities, not because they're better than us or they're stronger than us, because they're not, And how about Shemir Shai brought us low so that he could teach us a lesson, not to go off. And let's get Genesis or Salakia. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and let's get 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies which the Lord Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. The Lord Yahweh shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle, which is Esau's national bird, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, because this English, the Spanish, all these languages are not our language. Our language is the Lashon Kodash, the holy tongue. And that's why we didn't understand them. They came from over there. England, they were kicked out. And they came over here. And like, what's that guy said? Christopher Colombo. Dang. What the hell? Says, yes, Christopher Columbus wrote in his journal during his first voyage in 1492 that he could subjugate the indigenous population with a very small number of men. Says, in a journal dated October 14th, 1492, just 2 days after his arrival in the Bahamas, Columbus made the following observations about the Taino people he encountered. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all, make them do whatever we want. And that's what happened. That's why we got put in chains and have to serve them in food, for clothes, got to pay rent, all that stuff. So this guy, damn devil. But check it out. Where was I thinking? Oh, okay. Here you go. Because saying it's not because of their strength, If Yahweh Hashem Yahushai doesn't want it to happen, it's not going to happen. So check this out. So you're saying that they're stronger than the people they took over? Well, check this example out. It says, between 1778 and 1871, the United States government ratified approximately 368 to 374 treaties with Native American tribes. These agreements, which defined land, right, and relationships, ceased. It says, through 1871, though hundreds more were negotiated but never ratified. The government has been criticized for breaking or violating virtually all of them. See, so this devil, that's what he is. He's a devil. He's a liar, deceiver, saying that we're going to have peace, we're going to have treaties, all this stuff. But check it out. It says, been criticized for breaking or violating virtually all of them. So like it says, never trust the enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is wickedness. So we're not going to pity anybody that's been bit by, like it says about a snake charmer. You knew what you were doing, messing around with that dangerous animal, and Esau is a wicked animal. Like I was thinking about the other day. Check this out. It says bear cannibalism, including eating cubs, occurs primarily in polar bears and occasionally in grizzly bears. But Esau does it just because, not because of food scarcity. That guy's just the most profane person, profane people. And that damn she-devil, Edomite, is going to learn that you don't. Like right here, it says, male bears are the typical culprits, killing cubs to force the mother into heat or simply to consume a high-calorie meal when standing prey is unavailable. But like these EP files coming out and all these witnesses and all that, victims saying about how they'll have sex with the woman and then take the baby and have a full course meal with that, So this damn devil's nasty, wicked, a liar, everything. He's not stronger. He's just more wicked. But let's get Genesis 27 and 48. Okay, 39. Genesis 27 and 39. And Isaac, his father, answered him and said unto him, Behold, well, 38. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. And that's what they have. They have all these rich, nice, beautiful places. And the dew of heaven from above. And how did he get it? And by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Because we had them in slavery for a while, you know? Why? Because Yahweh Shem Shai made it happen. But we went off after, well, King David and Solomon. We had the kingdom and then fell off. And we got judged for it. So then they got the dominion. But right here it says, and by that sword thou shalt live. So that's how they've been ruling, taking over these places, not because of their own will, but because Yahweh Shem Shai let them do it. But it's a temporary blessing. Jacob got the forever blessing. So that's why he's so mad, and he's trying to forward this new world agenda so that these damn devils like her will be ruling, be in the front seat, and us, their footstool. But yeah, right. Yahweh Shem Shai has another plan. Like it says, he that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh. So just get this right here. If Esau was ruling the world, how would that look like? And then it comes down here. It says, a hunter's meritocracy. His world will likely prioritize physical prowess, survival skills, and immediate rewards. The man of the field would be valued over the man of the tents. And that's what happened. Now it's all about like hunting, like in jobs. People are at each other's necks. And that's highly esteemed, more above, like it says, man of the tents, the scholar or strategist, Because like it says, you don't have to work hard, nor work smarter, nor harder. Focus on the physical. Just as he sold his birthright for a bowl of stew, his rule might emphasize physical needs and material comforts over long-term spiritual or legacy-based goals. Warlike spirit, since he is often associated with the Roman Empire and a propensity for violence, his global rule might look like a vast military empire. And that's exactly what it is. Esau's the hammer of the earth. Why? So he can fulfill prophecy. So let's get a little bit more stuff, and Lord willing, it's edifying. Okay, and then that damn devil was saying about our people being stronger, and your people should have been stronger, blah blah blah. All that pride. Fine. Obadiah 3 and verse 3 says, or Obadiah 3 and 4, the pride of the heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock, whose habitation is high, and saith in his heart, Who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou set thyself among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is going to bring these devils down. Let's get let's get 2 Timothy 3:3. Says, without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce despisers of those that are good. That's one of the descriptions of Esau. A lot of people are going to be like this in these last days, but that's what Esau is. Says, they're traitors and truth breakers. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushua sees all that, and they're going to get paid back. But check this out. Because that damn devil's still living on stolen ground. It says, if a person inherits property they know is stolen, and these people know that they took it, that it wasn't theirs to begin with, they cannot legally keep it. Retaining it or trying to sell it, knowing its illicit origin, makes them liable for crimes such as receiving stolen property. The rightful owner can reclaim it, and the inheritor may face lawsuits, police investigations, and potential criminal charges. See? But there's no there's no might in our hand. We can't do that. But all this whole place is stolen, and everybody knows it. But why don't they give it back? Because of the pride. They say that we're stronger, so we get it. Strong survival of the fittest, But that's all right. They get their blessing for a little bit. But Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is going to set this place in order, and they're going to be at the bottom, So keep that same energy. But Lord willing, it's edifying. And I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Bashem Kakatash. Yahweh is the name of our Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. His real name is Yahweh, meaning He is. Bahashim means in the name. Yahweh Shai is His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. His real name is Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. He is the anointed. He is the deliverer. Bahashim, in the name of the Ruach HaKodesh, the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to the head elders, apostles, and the bishops at the Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to you, hopeful elect brothers and sisters gathering faith as a treasure. I say shalom to you. Till next time.